High in the Peruvian Andes, perched on a narrow ridge between two mountain peaks at an elevation of nearly 2,400 meters, sits one of the most remarkable architectural achievements of the ancient Americas. Machu Picchu, built by the Inca civilization sometime in the mid-15th century. Before addressing Machu Picchu's remarkable construction and purpose, it is worth directly correcting a common historical framing. Machu Picchu is frequently described in popular Western sources as having been discovered by American historian Hiram Bingham in 1911. It is important to state clearly, local Quechua-speaking farming families living in the surrounding valley were already aware of the site's existence, and at least one had reportedly cleared portions of it for their own agricultural use prior to Bingham's arrival. Bingham's genuine historical contribution was bringing Machu Picchu to international academic and popular attention through his subsequent expeditions and publications, not locating a site entirely unknown to any living person, a distinction historians studying the history of Andean archaeology consider genuinely important for accurately understanding this site's actual documented history. The Inca Empire itself, at its height in the early 16th century, represented the largest empire in the pre-Columbian Americas, stretching along the Andes mountain range across territory corresponding to portions of modern Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina, administered through a genuinely sophisticated system of roads, agricultural terracing, and centralized governmental organization that historians studying Andean civilization consider remarkable, given the Incas' relatively limited roughly one-century period of major imperial expansion before Spanish conquest interrupted the empire's continued historical development. Machu Picchu itself, according to archaeological dating evidence, was constructed during the reign of the Inca ruler Pachacuti, generally credited by historians as the emperor whose military and administrative leadership initiated the Inca Empire's remarkable, rapid territorial expansion across the broader Andean region during the mid-15th century. Modern radiocarbon dating and archaeological analysis, historians note, have helped establish a considerably more precise construction timeline for Machu Picchu than was available to Bingham and other early 20th century researchers, confirming the site's construction and primary period of occupation occurred within a relatively compressed historical window of roughly 100 years, spanning the site's initial construction through its eventual decline. Likely connected to the broader disruption the Spanish conquest brought to Inca imperial governance and administration throughout the wider empire during the 1530s. Machu Picchu's construction represents a remarkable engineering achievement, accomplished using methods that might initially seem to limit what the Inca could practically build. Yet, these constraints clearly did not prevent this sophisticated architectural accomplishment. The Inca did not develop iron or steel tools, instead relying primarily on bronze and stone tools for their massive construction work. Notably, they did not employ wheeled transportation for practical purposes, despite understanding the basic wheel concept. The wheel's absence was likely due to the Andes' challenging mountainous terrain, where wheeled transport would have offered limited practical advantage. Instead, they relied on a well-developed system of stone stairways, footpaths, and llama-based cargo transport throughout their extensive road network. Despite these constraints, Machu Picchu's stonework demonstrates extraordinary precision, using a technique known as ashlar masonry. This involves carefully shaped stones fitted together so tightly that many walls required no mortar whatsoever. According to documented accounts, even a thin blade cannot be inserted between the stones, in the finest examples of this technique. This precise fitting provided a practical advantage in this seismically active region, allowing structures to flex slightly during earthquakes. This represents sophisticated engineering knowledge developed through generations of accumulated building experience in the Andes. Transporting massive stone blocks, some weighing many tons, up the steep mountain terrain was another significant challenge. Inca builders likely used a combination of human labor, wooden rollers, and carefully engineered ramps to move these stones. These labor-intensive techniques allowed the Inca to create one of the world's most enduring architectural wonders without modern technology. Despite extensive archaeological investigation extending across more than a century since Bingham's expeditions brought international attention to the site, Machu Picchu's precise original purpose remains a subject of genuine ongoing scholarly discussion among archaeologists specializing in Inca civilization. The most widely accepted current scholarly interpretation, based on the site's architectural sophistication, relatively small resident population evident from archaeological survey, and specific structural features, suggests Machu Picchu likely served as a royal estate or retreat specifically associated with the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, functioning as a significant religious and administrative center, while potentially serving as a royal residence during specific seasonal periods, rather than representing a typical, permanently and densely populated Inca city, comparable to other major Inca settlements. This interpretation draws support from Machu Picchu's architectural layout, which includes clearly identifiable religious structures, including the notable Temple of the Sun and other ceremonially significant buildings, alongside residential structures that archaeological evidence suggests housed a relatively modest permanent population. Historians estimate numbering perhaps several hundred individuals, considerably smaller than the population typical major Inca administrative centers maintained. Alternative scholarly theories have proposed additional functions, including significant astronomical observation purposes, connected to the precisely aligned structures discussed in greater detail shortly, and potential defensive or strategic military considerations connected to the site's genuinely remote, naturally defensible mountain location. It is worth stating clearly that these various proposed purposes are not necessarily mutually exclusive, with historians generally acknowledging Machu Picchu likely served multiple simultaneous functions, reflecting the broader pattern of significant Inca settlements combining religious, administrative, and royal residential functions. The site's specific division into distinct architectural sectors, including a clearly identifiable agricultural zone incorporating the extensive terracing, a separate urban residential zone, and a specifically religious sector, incorporating the most significant ceremonial structures, provides archaeologists with additional supporting evidence for this multifunctional interpretation, suggesting deliberate, careful architectural planning, reflecting the activities Inca administrators intended this remarkable settlement to support. Among Machu Picchu's most genuinely impressive engineering achievements are its extensive agricultural terraces, carved directly into the steep surrounding mountainside, representing sophisticated practical solutions to the genuine agricultural challenges presented by this dramatic, steeply sloped mountain environment. These terraces served multiple simultaneous practical functions beyond simply creating additional flat, usable agricultural land on otherwise impractically steep terrain. The terrace's careful construction, incorporating specific layered combinations of gravel, sand, and topsoil, provided genuinely sophisticated drainage management, helping prevent the kind of soil erosion and water damage that heavy Andean seasonal rainfall might otherwise cause on unmodified steep mountain slopes, while simultaneously helping regulate soil temperature in ways that could meaningfully extend the effective local growing season for cultivated crops. The Inca cultivated a wide variety of crops across these terraces, including numerous distinct potato varieties, specifically adapted to different elevation conditions, along with maize, quinoa, and various other crops the Inca cultivated across the empire's genuinely diverse Andean geographic and climatic range, reflecting sophisticated agricultural knowledge regarding which specific crop varieties would successfully grow at Machu Picchu's particular elevation and local climate conditions. Water management represented another genuinely sophisticated aspect of Machu Picchu's design, with a carefully engineered system of channels and fountains distributing water, drawing from a natural mountain spring and demonstrating considerable Inca engineering knowledge regarding hydraulic principles and water flow management, allowing reliable water distribution throughout the settlement despite its genuinely challenging elevated mountain location. Machu Picchu incorporates several structures and stone features that archaeologists have identified as demonstrating deliberate astronomical alignment. This reflects the significant role astronomical observation held within Inca religious belief and practical agricultural calendar management. The Intihuatana stone, a carved granite rock formation whose name translates to hitching the sun, is one of the site's most studied features. Its specific angles likely served ceremonial and practical functions connected to tracking solstices for coordinating agricultural planting cycles. The Temple of the Sun incorporates a carefully positioned window that aligns with the sunrise during the June solstice. This alignment was precisely engineered, reflecting the genuine sophistication of Inca astronomical knowledge and its integration into ceremonial architecture. While many alignments are well documented, scholarly caution is needed to distinguish proven facts from popular claims that lack archaeological evidence. Precise timing of planting activities across diverse Andean microclimates required considerable accumulated knowledge, making these observations practically valuable. These facilities extended well beyond purely ceremonial function, serving essential needs for survival in the heart of the Inca Empire. Archaeological investigation of Machu Picchu's residential areas, combined with skeletal analysis of human remains recovered from the site's burial areas, has provided historians with meaningful evidence regarding the specific population that once inhabited this remarkable mountain settlement. Skeletal analysis suggests Machu Picchu's resident population likely included a genuinely diverse mix of individuals, potentially drawn from various regions across the Inca Empire. This is consistent with the Inca practice of relocating skilled workers and administrators to significant sites to help integrate and administer their vast territory. The population likely included religious specialists maintaining ceremonial functions, skilled artisans, construction specialists, and agricultural workers managing the extensive terrace farming system. Some archaeological evidence has suggested a notably high proportion of female skeletal remains among certain burial areas. This led to earlier historical speculation regarding Machu Picchu, potentially serving as a residence for religious women dedicated to Inca solar worship. However, recent skeletal analysis using improved forensic techniques has suggested a more balanced male-to-female population ratio than earlier studies indicated. Contemporary archaeologists now treat the dramatic Virgins of the Sun interpretation with greater scholarly caution than it received in earlier 20th century scholarship. Machu Picchu connected to the broader Inca Empire through an extensive, genuinely sophisticated road network historians refer to as the Capac Ñan. This royal road system represents one of the Inca civilization's most significant infrastructure achievements and a genuinely remarkable engineering accomplishment. This was built despite the extraordinarily challenging Andean mountain terrain. This extensive road system successfully traversed. Extending across thousands of kilometers, the network incorporated sophisticated engineering solutions to the genuine practical challenges of mountain construction. Features included carefully engineered stone stairways navigating steep elevation changes and suspension bridges constructed from woven plant fiber ropes. Way stations positioned at regular intervals provided rest, supplies, and administrative support for travelers and messengers throughout the empire. The specific trail connecting to Machu Picchu, known today as the Inca Trail, remains a well-preserved segment of this broader network. It provides modern visitors direct physical experience of the genuine engineering sophistication and careful route planning Inca road builders employed. This network served essential governmental functions, including facilitating the rapid movement of messengers who relayed communications with remarkable speed. It also supported the movement of administrative officials, military forces, and the agricultural goods the imperial system depended upon. This infrastructure ensured effective governmental function across this extensive, geographically challenging mountainous territory. Unlike many other significant Inca sites that suffered direct destruction or significant alteration during the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire beginning in the 1530s, Machu Picchu appears to have remained genuinely unknown to Spanish colonial authorities throughout the colonial period, a historical circumstance that likely contributed significantly to the site's genuinely remarkable state of preservation compared to other major Inca settlements that experienced considerably more direct colonial-era disruption and alteration. Historians attribute Machu Picchu's obscurity to its remote, difficult to access mountain location, away from primary colonial transportation routes and population centers, combined with the site's relatively limited resident population at the specific time of Spanish conquest, potentially having already experienced some degree of population decline or abandonment, even before Spanish colonial authorities arrived in the broader region. This isolation meant Machu Picchu avoided the systematic destruction of religious and ceremonial structures that authorities frequently imposed on Inca religious sites. Motivated by colonial religious policy, targeting indigenous practice for deliberate destruction or conversion to Catholic religious use. This historical circumstance ultimately provided modern archaeologists with a valuable, comparatively well-preserved window into authentic Inca architectural and religious practice, largely unaltered by the direct colonial era modification and destruction that affected numerous other significant Inca sites throughout the broader territory. The broader Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire unfolded with devastating speed and consequence for Inca civilization, connected to factors including military technology advantages and internal Inca political conflict following a recent succession dispute, and, significantly, the catastrophic impact of European diseases including smallpox, which spread ahead of direct Spanish contact through existing indigenous trade and communication networks, causing devastating population loss throughout the empire, even before direct Spanish military conquest reached many specific regions. Following Hiram Bingham's 1911 expedition, which brought international academic and popular attention to a site local communities already knew existed, Machu Picchu underwent extensive archaeological investigation and, over subsequent decades, significant restoration work, gradually clearing centuries of accumulated vegetation growth and stabilizing structures that had experienced natural deterioration since the site's original Inca-era occupation ended. This restoration and ongoing archaeological research process, extending across more than a century, has involved genuine international scholarly collaboration. Though historians note ongoing discussion regarding early 20th century archaeological practice, including disputes regarding artifacts removed from the site during Bingham's expeditions, that were, following extended negotiation, eventually returned to Peru in subsequent decades. Machu Picchu was formally designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983, reflecting international recognition of the site's architectural and cultural significance, while contemporary Peru has developed careful site management policies to balance tourism access against the imperative to preserve this remarkable ancient site. Contemporary archaeological research continues actively refining scholarly understanding, incorporating advanced technologies including detailed archaeological survey techniques. These methods continue updating and revising earlier interpretations regarding the site's precise population, function, and construction history. More than 5 centuries after its construction, Machu Picchu remains a genuinely remarkable testament to Inca civilization's sophisticated engineering, astronomical, and administrative achievement. It offers modern visitors a direct physical connection to an impressive pre-Columbian civilization whose accomplishments deserve recognition fully comparable to the celebrated ancient civilizations of the world. Understanding Machu Picchu accurately requires appreciating its well-documented engineering and astronomical sophistication, and the honest acknowledgement of genuine remaining scholarly uncertainty regarding specific historical details. This includes the site's precise original purpose and population, representing responsible historical treatment that neither overstates confirmed knowledge nor diminishes the site's remarkable architectural significance. The Inca descendants who continue living throughout the broader Andean region today maintain genuine, continuous cultural connection to this remarkable architectural heritage. Contemporary Quechua-speaking communities preserve considerable traditional, agricultural, linguistic, and cultural knowledge directly connected to the same civilization that originally constructed Machu Picchu. This represents genuine living cultural continuity, extending directly from this remarkable ancient site into the present day. Standing before Machu Picchu's precisely fitted stone walls, Looking out across its carefully engineered agricultural terraces, it becomes possible to appreciate this site as a testament to human engineering. It is a testament to sophisticated engineering knowledge, careful astronomical observation, and remarkable architectural achievement by a civilization whose significance continues receiving respectful scholarly attention.